G'day all, and welcome to the Mobishear YouTube channel. Just got a little hack for you today. So when we send our units out, we always grind the gear so it's nice and sharp for you, and then we need to set up lots of them. So I've come up with a way where we can set them up more or less right so that they'll work straight out of the box, and it's something you can do at home as well if you're not familiar with setting up shearing handpieces. So what you have is you've got your cutter and your comb, and when it's off the machine like this, you just loosen it off enough for that cutter to sit there without actually touching the comb when the comb's on. So I'm actually doing this in reverse to how most people would do it. So I put the cover on first. You'll see there's some little tiny holes here. They need to line up with these little prongs here. So you sit that on there. Make sure it doesn't have to be perfect, just sitting there nicely. And you grab your comb, put it on the unit, push down on it so that it's flat against the chassis, and then you can just finger tighten these comb screws, but you'll still be able to move the comb around. Now the tricky part that people have trouble with is the gap at the front here, which we call the lead, and the lead is the gap between the tip of that cutter and where that flat part of that comb bevels off. That's your lead. So this one here's roughly got about 1.5 mils of lead, which is not a bad starting point. So the way I measure that is I get another comb, and it can be worn. It doesn't really, it's not super important to have it absolutely the same every time, but that's how I set the gap so it's pretty right. The other little trick is move that comb as far, this is now facing to my right, move that comb as far as it'll go on there towards you. And then while you've still got the comb there, this one here, just tighten those up. They don't have to be super tight, because when they warm up when you're working, they can pull really tight if you over tighten them. So you just want to make them firm but not super tight. Otherwise you'll be needing leverage to get them off again. So now we've got our basics set up. And so there's our lead once again. So it's about right, 1.5 mil. So now we can fire it up. So you'll find sometimes you can push this across, sometimes you can't. There will be some lock up. So then you just fire it up and then you can move it. And the throw should cover to the outside of this tooth and to the outside of that tooth. The throw is how the cutter moves back and forward. So see that? So that goes nicely to the edge there. And it'll go slightly over on that side, which is fine. It leaves enough room if you want a slightly wider comb. So there you have it. That's a quick and easy way to set up the cutting gear. Of course, always make sure it's nice and sharp, and use your, finally, this gap here. See, there's a gap here between the cutter and the comb, so and the chicken feet. Just move that in so it's just touching, and then go a little bit more. It's like 1/5 of a turn, and that should be a good tension to start at. Right, so there you have it. That's your quick setup hack for setting up the cutting gear on one of our Mobishear handpieces, and any handpiece really. Thanks for watching.